In the net ionic equation, usually we'll write the silver chloride as solid and will not divide it into ions. That's why, because it has very limited solubility. But here in the equilibrium, we can make the equation to divide it into silver ions and chloride ions in order to see what is the solubility, even if it is very small amount, then we are going also to need it. So I'm going to call the K equilibrium, which I used to call Kc or Kp or Ka for acids or P for bases or W for water. Here I'm going to call it the Ksp. So this is the solubility constant. So this is the solubility constant or the equilibrium constant for the substance dissolving. And how I'm going to find it the same way that I used to find the other things also. So exactly if I said silver chloride, what is its Ksp is equal to the concentration of Ag plus multiplied by the concentration of Cl minus, and of course I will not divide it by silver chloride because it is solid. Since the ratio of silver and chloride is 1:1, so their concentration will be the same, صح? If it is 0.1, this will be 0.1. If this is 0.001, this will be the same. نفس السوليبيليتي بالظبط. يبقى أنا ممكن أقول مثلا السوليبيليتي هي is what? Solubility is actually، ودي أهم حتة في الشابتر كله في الأسئلة، إن هو لما يجي يسألني على السوليبيليتي، so he is actually asking about me the concentration of the ions. لازم أبقى عارف لما يقول لي أسأل، أنا بسأل على السوليبيليتي، يبقى هو بيسألني على concentration of the ions. So how much silver chloride solubility is, so solubility of silver chloride بتساوي قد إيه of silver chloride، هعرفها من الكونسنتريشن بتاع الاي جي بلس والكونسنتريشن بتاع السي ال ماينس. لو الكونسنتريشن بتاعهم از هاي يبقى السوليبيليتي بتاعتهم بتاعت السيلفر كلورايد از هاي. لو الكونسنتريشن بتاعهم از لو كونسنتريشن يبقى السوليبيليتي بتاعت السيلفر كلورايد از فيري لو. يبقى اهم كلمه اعرفها ان السوليبيليتي actually is what? It is the concentration of the ions. The solubility is actually what? The concentration of the ions. كل ما هتزيد السوليبيليتي كل ما هيزيد الكونسنتريشن. كويس. يبقى الايكوليبريم كونستانت بتاع السوليد بسميه السوليبيليتي برودكت كونستانت، او بسميه السوليبيليتي كونستانت على طول اللي هو الكي اس بي. طيب هنعمل شويه ريفيجن سريع على الرولز بتاعت السوليبيليتي، لازم اكون عارفها، مش بحتاج لها قوي زي جريد 11، بس يعني هنمر عليها مره سريعه. مثلا in what we are going to say. Let me show you a table. Let me share it from here. This one. Yeah. So I can share from here. أنا عارف إن mainly substances divide into two different parts, the ones which are mostly soluble and the ones which are mostly insoluble. The ones which are mostly soluble, like the ones on the left side, يعني group 1 metals, potassium, sodium, lithium. I have also ammonium ion, I have the nitrate ion, and have acetate ion. دول أنا بسميهم rule 1، وبسميهم rule 1 ليه؟ because they have no exceptions. الايونز ديت لو جت مع اي ايونز ثانيه وات ايفر ايه الايونز الثانيه، يعني بوتاسيوم بلس اني انايون از سوليبل، امونيوم مع اي انايون از سوليبل، نيتريت مع اي كاتايون از سوليبل. So they have no exceptions. That's why I will call this the rule number 1. I will call it rule number 1. This is the only one rule that has solubility without exceptions. بقيه الايونز اللي تحت ديت on the left side they are still soluble mostly، ولكن very few exceptions. يعني الكلورايد والبرومايد والايودايد are always soluble، ولكن عندها few exceptions اللي هي السيلفر والميركوري 1 والليد 2، دول بيكونوا insoluble. تاني الحاجات اللي على الشمال بالريد دول mostly soluble ما عدا الاكسبشنز، الحاجات اللي على اليمين mostly insoluble ما عدا exceptions. كمان عندي السلفيت ايونز بتكون soluble ما عدا نفس الثلاثه اللي فاتوا، السيلفر والليد والميركوري، وهزود عليهم الكالسيوم والباريوم والسترونشيوم. يعني الكالسيوم والباريوم والسترونشيوم سلفيت بيكونوا انسوليبل هما، والسيلفر والليد والميركوري طبعا اشهر حاجه الليد سلفيت او الباريوم سلفيت. طيب الحاجات اللي معمولين بالبلو على الرايت دول لا، ده الاصل فيهم ان هم يكونوا انسوليبل، they are mainly insoluble. يعني carbonates, phosphates, hydroxides, oxides, sulfides they are mainly insoluble. والاكسبشنز هي السوليبل. طبعا اول اكسبشن هي رول 1، لان احنا لسه قايلين من شويه ان رول 1 بتضغط على اي حاجه وبتبقى سوليبل مع اي حاجه. فلو جالي رول 1 يعني بوتاسيوم او صوديوم او ليثيوم او امونيوم مع كربونات والفوسفيت هتبقى سوليبل، يبقى this is the first exception، هتكون سوليبل. وفي الهيدروكسيد والاكسيد هزود عليهم الباريوم كمان، يعني الباريوم هيدروكسيد سوليبل والباريوم اوكسيد سوليبل، ورول 1 مع الهيدروكسيد والاكسيد، لكن اي حاجه ثانيه is insoluble. طب والسلفايدز رول 1 وهزود عليها باريوم وكالسيوم وسترونشيوم ومغنيسيوم. اوكي، مش هحتاجها كتير قوي يعني في الاي بي كيمستري، but it's good to have this as a backup دايما، علشان لو في سؤال، لان العاده ان هو بيديني اساسا طبعا ارقام، so he's going to give me the KSP in numbers and these numbers will be very accurate. ومينلي مش هيسالني يعني دوت soluble ولا insoluble، الا لو الكلام ده فادني في معلومه في سؤال من الاسئله، فطبعا هيبقى مفيد جدا لما اكون عارف ان في حاجه soluble او insoluble، ممكن تفيدني في معلومه مهمه، زي مثلا ان انا اكون بيسالني على ان انا اكتب ايونيك ايكويشن. لو سالني اكتب ايونيك ايكويشن، اكيد الايونيك ايكويشن ديت مش هعرف اعملها، ومش هعرف الحاجه دي هتبقى ايكويس ولا سوليد غير لما اكون انا عارف السوليبيليتي بتاعتها. يعني لو قال لي السيلفر كلورايد اكيد هقول له سوليد، لكن لو طلب مني مثلا حاجه زي البوتاسيوم نيتريت، فانا متاكد ان البوتاسيوم نيتريت is 100% soluble so I will never write that it is insoluble. طيب ايه تاني غير السوليبيليتي رولز؟ ايه تاني غير السوليبيليتي رولز؟ الايكوليبريم عارفين فيه ان دايما لا اما الكيو از ايكوال تو كي، لا اما الكيو از ليس ذان كي، لا اما الكيو از مور ذان كي. طيب في الثلاث حالات ديت ايه اللي بيحصل؟ if the reaction Q is equal to K so I am at the equilibrium. What is the meaning of equilibrium؟ يعني the rate of at which the silver chloride is breaking down into silver ions and chloride ions is the rate at which the precipitation happens، اللي هي ان السيلفر and chloride join together to form the precipitate. So the forward is equal to backward. بينما لو كانت it's less than K, what is the case? Is it going to the left favored ولا backward favored؟ So هنا it favors the forward direction. So it makes more of the soluble ions. So it makes more of the soluble ions. يبقى هتعمل لي أكتر silver and chloride. It favors the forward reaction. طب لو حصل العكس يا مستر إنها ال Q is more than K، لا في الحالة دي it favors the backward. So it mainly will form the so favors ال backward، يبقى it forms mainly ال insoluble substance. طيب تاني يبقى ال Q if it is less than K يبقى reaction mainly is proceeding forward أو to the right، عاملة لي products forming products. هنا mainly is forming reactants if it is more than K. لو عندي أي اتنين solutions وعملت لهم mixing هبص على ال KSP على طول. لو لقيت ال Q is less than K يبقى بيعمل product، يبقى السبستنس بتاعتي هتبقى soluble. لكن لو ال Q is more than K يبقى بيعمل reactant، يبقى السبستنس بتاعتي هتعمل لي precipitate. عايز اعرف بتعمل precipitate ولا لا. لو عملت reactant اللي هو احنا قلنا عليه ان هو solid يبقى بتعمل precipitate، وهنشوف الكلام ده في الاسئله. طبعا كل ما هيزيد ال KSP كل ما هيزيد ال KSP when it increases يبقى السوليبيليتي نفسها هتزيد، لان الكونسنتريشن بتاعت البرودكتس هتزيد بالظبط عندي. الليجند والكومبلكس ايونز مش بيجي عليهم اسئله كتيره، ولا حتى في الشويفات ولا في الاي بي كيمستري. It's not much required. اللي انا عايز اتكلم عليه بعد كده هي الاسئله، وقبل ما اتكلم على الاسئله هتكلم على بسم الله الكومن ايون افكت، وده احنا خدنا فيه شويه
شابتر
طبعا
15.
في شابتر بتاع الايكوليبريم والاسيد
مم.
والبيز. لكن لازم اكون عارفه هنا برضو، عارف ان انا لو عندي حاجه زي الصوديوم فلورايد مثلا this is a sorry حاجه زي ال HF، فعندي low concentration of fluoride ions مثلا because this is a weak acid. Then if I have added an ion like F from outside، يعني لو جبت NaF and NaF breaks down into Na plus into Na plus and F minus. زودت الكونسنتريشن بتاعت ال F minus وانا عندي already F minus. Solution will try to decrease the F minus, so it will move mainly to the backward. Since it will favor the backward direction هتقلل السوليبيليتي كمان وكمان. يبقى ال HF اساسا السوليبيليتي بتاعتها قليله، so it will lower the solubility. ليه؟ لانها مشيت left، و favors left means favors ال HF. لو كانت مشيت right طبعا يبقى كل ما هقلل ال F دوت كل ما هتمشي right والسوليبيليتي هتزيد. يبقى adding a common ion will cause the solubility to decrease. So solubility is going to decrease. اعتقد ان ده معظم الكلام اللي احنا محتاجين نقوله، ومش هنحتاج اكتر من ان احنا نحاول نحل الاسئله اللي موجوده في ال AMS. So if you wish you can start sharing and we start talking about the questions. I will stop my share, and if you wish you can share this whatever you want, the file itself or the AMS, or if you want to go to the chapter itself.
Doctor, can you open the file on your screen?
Yeah, I will try one second to find it.
I can send it to you if you don't have it.
Yeah, I think, because I think I have the one only from the last.
Okay, I'll send it. Do you need the solution, doctor?
Yeah, it will be better even. We are going to give the steps.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna mainly write the question here, but you can just open your file to follow up with me عشان تبقى شايف السؤال الأصلي. The first question is asking the KSP. So let's see. The KSP of magnesium hydroxide is 4 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 12. So if KSP of magnesium hydroxide is 4 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 12, calculate the solubility. تاني كلمة solubility means the concentration of the ions of magnesium hydroxide is the concentration of ions. طيب احنا السنة اللي فاتت كنا بنقول بما ان دوت weakly soluble, so I'm gonna use the ice table directly. وكنا بنقول كمان ان احنا ممكن نريح نفسنا ونحفظ الثلاثة رولز بتاعة السوليبيليتي اللي هي كانت بتقول لي ان الرولز بتاعة الكي اس بي او السوليبيليتي بتعتمد على الريشيو. يعني ايه ريشيو؟ يعني if you have NaCl it breaks down into 1 Na plus and 1 Cl minus. بينما المغنيسيوم هيدروكسيد breaks down into 1 magnesium and 2 OH minus. والثالث واحد هو الألومنيوم هيدروكسيد مثلا it breaks down into 1 aluminum and 3 hydroxides. So according to the ratio here is 1 to 1 to 1. So 1 to 1 to 1 ولا 1 to 1 to 2 ولا the ratio is 1 to 1 to 3 hydroxide ions, so 1 to 1 to 3. If the ratio is 1 to 1 to 1 usually KSP بتساوي الX المرة دي ممكن نسميها X أو S solubility اللي هي الكونسنتريشن بتاعت الأيونز نفسها. So it's equal to S squared. And just to remember how did we get this؟ احنا قلنا إن الصوديوم كلورايد مثلا if it dissolves لو كان ليها high solubility، إن خلينا نجيب حاجة تكون low solubility زي اللي احنا لسه قايلين عليهم. الايونز اللي بتقول عليها اللي قلنا عليها of low solubility مثلا نقول على حاجه زي السيلفر كلورايد. السيلفر كلورايد مثلا، السيلفر كلورايد you can see the screen صح؟
Yeah, I can see.
So silver chloride for example breaks down into silver plus and Cl minus in the ratio of 1 to 1. I don't have anything soluble here because it's really insoluble and I did not even start the solubility. So I will minus some S or X from here and add it here and add it here. And even after adding, minusing this is going to almost be the same. So I'm just going to mark 0 here. There's not going to be any concentration of silver chloride because it's insoluble أساسا. While this is going to increase to become S and this is S. يعني أنت عايز تقول لي مستر KSP is equal to البرودكت so it is S squared. What about the opposite؟ يعني لو زي السؤال دوت هو مديني الكي اس بي وطالب مني السوليبيليتي او طالب مني الاس او الاكس، خلاص هقول له هجيب الراديكال بتاع الاثنين. So S is equal to the radical of KSP. وكنا حافظين ان في حاله الريشيو 1 to 2 انا ممكن اعمل الكلام ده في الامتحان، ممكن ابقى حافظ على طول ريشيو 1 to 1 كي اس بي بيساوي اس سكويرد، ريشيو 1 to 2 كي اس بي بتساوي 4 اس كيوبد. يبقى انت لو عايز تجيب الاس يا مستر اس بتساوي راديكال 3 of KSP divided by 4. وتاني جبناها منين؟ قلنا المغنيسيوم هيدروكسيد breaks down into magnesium and 2OH minus. تاني ratio is 1 to 1 to 2. يبقى nothing minus S plus S plus 2S. يبقى ده nothing S and 2S. يبقى ال KSP بتساوي البرودكتس في بعض. لما تعمل multiplication ل S multiplied by 2S هيدي لك ال 2 to the power of خد بالك 2S squared. 2S squared ليه؟ لأن الكوفيشنت بتاعها is 2. لما تعمل راديك باور لل 2 هتدي لك 4، ولما تعمل باور لل 2 multiplied by the power of 1 هتدي لك S cubed. عشان كده احنا حفظناها على طول وريحنا نفسنا. قلنا ال KSP is equal to 4 to the power of 3 لما تكون الريشيو 1 to 2. لو انت عندك في الامتحان تعملها، لو عايز تبقى حافظها تريح نفسك it's much easier. هنا KSP is equal to S2 لو كانت الريشيو 1 to 1. And here if the ratio is 1 to 3, so I will just say KSP is equal to 27S to the power of 4. تاني جبتها منين؟ Aluminium hydroxide breaks down into aluminium and 3OH minus. So 1 to 1 to 3, nothing at the initially, minus S plus 3S, and this is going to be S and 3S. So I will make KSP is equal to S multiplied by 3S to the power of 3. So when I make 3 to the power of 3, that's 27, and 3S to the power of 3 multiplied by S to the power of 1 is S to the power of 4. So that's why I said I will also memorize it. The ratio is 1 to 3, so it is 27S to the power of 4. ولو انت عايز العكس، يعني عايز تجيب الاس، so S is equal to radical KSP divided by 27 radical or the root of 4. خلاص؟ So it's very خاصة في الأسئلة بتاعت multiple choice, it's very handy to know the equation directly and memorize it. If you don't want and you want to make sure in the exam by making the ice table, so it still takes a second, so no worries برضه. طيب السؤال اللي عندي يا مستر قال لي it is ratio 1 to 2. I can see it is 1 to 2 لأن magnesium hydroxide. So basically I will say like this one, KSP بتساوي S بتساوي الراديكال KSP اللي هو 4 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 12. اعملها division by 4 وبعدين هات radical 3 of this one. And let's see on the calculator what it will be. I'm going to be correct or not. So I'll divide it by 4 and then make
Yeah,
it
I
radical.
got 1 times 10 to the power of minus 4.
So 1 times 10 to the power of negative 4 molars. This is the concentration. طيب the question number 2 is the same thing exactly, but this time the ratio is 1 to 1. So KSP of AgCl is 1 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 10. Find the maximum mass of AgCl that will dissolve in 500 centimeter cube solution. Again, I will find the S first, our solubility first, our concentration first by the same way. Ratio is 1 to 1, so KSP, so S is equal to radical KSP. So radical 1 for 10 to the power of negative 10, what is that? هنا من الفايل بيقول على طول 1 في 10 to the power of negative 5 molar. If this is the concentration and you have the volume, what is the number of moles?
This is the constant to multiply by the mass, molar mass.
So I need the mass, right? Find the maximum
Yeah.
mass. Mass equal to number of moles multiplied by the volume. So concentration, find the concentration equal to number of moles over volume. I can say number of moles equal to concentration multiplied volume. Concentration is 1 10 to the power of negative 5 multiplied by the volume, which is 0.5. So what is the number of moles?
I want to say 10 to the power of minus 5
Multiplied by 0.5
times half. 5 times 10 to the power of minus 6.
5 times
5 times 10 to the power of minus 6.
Minus 6. And then if I want to find the mass is equal to the number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. What is the molar mass? It is 143.5.
7.2 times 10 to the power of minus 4.
10 to the power of minus 4 grams. Okay, so simply it is the same thing. You just took the equation and tried to find something else, but the basic idea that it's trying to teach me is the same. Type number 3, KSP of lead sulfate. I can simply see that lead sulfate the ratio is also 1 to 1. So its KSP of lead sulfate is 1 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 8. Find the solubility, so find S of this one, of lead sulfate in what? In 0.0110 molars of lead nitrate solution. So this is the lead sulfate, and I have tried to dissolve this lead sulfate in a solution of lead nitrate to see how much it is soluble. So let's have a look how I will do like that. Initially, mister, you have a solution of lead nitrate. So let's talk about the lead sulfate because this is the weak one, the weakly soluble one, which is lead sulfate, breaks down into lead ions and sulfate ions in the ratio of 1 to 1. Initially, I did not start by anything, and I used to say that I did not start by anything here and anything here like the previous, but here comes the common ion. So this one is the common ion that's also available from the lead nitrate. When the lead nitrate broke down, it broke down completely because it's a strong electrolyte. So it gives me 0.010 molars. So it will make 0.0110 molar of lead and 0.0110 molars of nitrate, which we don't need it anyway. But the ratio is 2, so it will be multiplied by 2. But we don't need this number anyway. Correct? I just need the lead, which is 0.010. So this means you did not start by anything, but you started with 0.010 of the lead, correct? I will do the same.
Yeah, correct.
Minus S, plus S, plus S. So nothing, and then 0.01 plus S, and then S. So KSP is equal to the products divided by the reactant. Reactant is always solid. So it is the S multiplied by S plus 0.01, like he's saying in the file. So I will just multiply these together to find the value of Ks, to find the value of S. What is the value of S? Let's put it on the calculator and see. So KSP is equal to S multiplied by S plus 0.01. And I have the KSP already, which is 1 multiplied 10 to the power of -8. So let me try to find the answer of S.
Do we neglect 0.01?
Try to do it first with it and see what is the value, because I need you to find the answer to understand. So make S squared plus 0.01 S.
Yeah, 1 second. No, 9.999 times 10 to the power of -7.
9.999 times 10 to the power of
-7.
-7. This is if you get it with the full equation.
Let me check 1 second, because this is degree 2. 1. -8. 9.999 times 10 to the power of -7, and then the next one is negative, so it won't work.
Okay. And if you just put that the value of S is actually a very small value compared to the 0.01.
If I compare it to what?
We are saying the way, it's the same way. Do you remember when we said that I have an acid and in base, and I said that I have 1 million and 1 million plus 1, so it is nothing. That's why I will say the same, like you are asking. زي ما انت كنت بتسأل دلوقتي, I'm gonna ignore this value and say that the KSP is equal to S multiplied by S. This is S is much more smaller than the 0.1. So I will just say that it is equal to S multiplied by 0.01. It's a very small value that has to be ignored compared to the 0.001. So I will say S is equal to
SA is equal to S. Yeah, we instead of we
so
can do
I'll just divide the 1 multiplied 10
exactly.
to the power of -8.
So you get 1 times 10 to the power of -6.
بالظبط, equal to S is equal to 1 multiplied 10 to the power of -6. So Mr. simply just say that this is KSP, which is 1 to 10 to the power of -8, divided both sides by 0.01 to get the S. The idea is that you said the solubility of the sulfate is okay. So this solubility of the sulfate is included in the equation, but the solubility of lead, this number is a negligible number. This number is a negligible number. So I will just say it is S multiplied by 0.01. Why, Mr.? Because this is a very weak salt. So it's a very weak salt. So this number that comes from it is much less than, so the lead that comes from it is negligible value compared to the value that came from the lead sulfate. That's why I will say that the concentration of lead that came from lead sulfate is negligible compared to that came from the lead nitrate، اللي هو الكلام اللي هو قايله في الورقة وقايل في الانسرز، قايل ان الاس is much smaller than 0.01 so compared to it is a useless number. طيب خلينا نبص على النكست one. The solution in which calcium is prepared, calculate the minimum pH needed to precipitate calcium ions as calcium hydroxide from the solution, and he said the KSP is equal to calcium hydroxide is equal to this one. This is actually a very good answer, so I'll just give you a very good question, so I'll just give you a couple of seconds so we can see if we can do it. I'm not sure if you are seeing the screen correctly as this. Yes, okay. So let me write it down while you think it in a minute.
While I what?
You try to think about the idea how you will answer it. So I have a solution. Yes.
Because
in which calcium ions, which is calcium 2 plus, is 0.20 molar was prepared. ده solution كويس with strong high concentration وكله تمام. Calculate minimum pH. Minimum pH is related to H plus concentration. Minimum pH to precipitate calcium ions as calcium hydroxide from solution, from calcium hydroxide from solution, and he gave us the KSP of calcium hydroxide, which will help us to find the concentration, to 1.3 multiplied 10 to the power of -6. You need to prepare to precipitate it، يعني you need to decrease the solubility of it so much so that it becomes precipitated as calcium hydroxide. So you will put something that dissolves with it, that decreases its solubility so it becomes a precipitate. Okay. Where is the reaction? The reaction is calcium makes calcium hydroxide, صح? So the calcium hydroxide, where is the reaction? The calcium hydroxide is broken down into calcium ions and hydroxide.
2OH minus.
2OH minus. I need to find the pH at which the precipitation happens. You said the Mr. KSP is equal to the products over the reactants. So this KSP that you give me, 1.3 multiplied 10 to the power of -7 is equal to the concentration of calcium multiplied by the concentration of hydroxide to the power of 2. But
the concentration of calcium
is already there.
0. Yeah, it's 0.2 plus S.
Is equal to 0.2 already.
Plus S.
Plus S. Why it is plus S? We said that S is negligible. That will come from
we can
ignore
and
it.
then times 2S,
which is the hydroxide to the power of 2, right? Which is
no, but shouldn't it be 2S? Because when you do ICE table, it will be +2.
So we'll put the concentration. You said 2 of the S, but you don't need the 2S. You need the S.
Yeah, I mean, like 0.2 times 2S all squared equals the KSP.
No, take care. This is very important. When you speak and you say 2S, you don't put the S. You just put the S squared. You don't put the 2. So let's see what we have done here.
But when we do ICE table, don't we put the
Yeah,
2?
we put it because there is a value, because we say that we put a value. So this is a value itself. It's all of it is 2s. But here, when we come to here, where is this value? Here it is. This is the value, خلاص. So this is the value of OH minus. Okay, did you get me? I know that this part is difficult to understand, but here when I say I make multiplication of 2 of s. So the whole thing became the value that we are looking for. Down here, when I'm calculating, I'm saying this is OH minus concentration multiplied by E. So where is the concentration that you are looking for multiplied by 2? This is the one. So that's the concentration. خلاص. I don't multiply it by 2 again. I just say OH minus to the power of 2 على طول. في كل الأسئلة بتاعت الإكويبريم كنا بنعمل كده، باخد الرقم دوت الكونسنتريشن وبعمل له to the power of 2، ما بقولش 2 to the power of 2 تاني. الايس تيبل انا بعمله لان دي unknown value، فبقول I don't know how much it is multiplied by 2. لكن في كل الارقام لما بيجي لك رقم انت بتاخد الرقم وبتحطه باور 2 صح؟ عمرك ما عملته في 2 تاني. يعني انا لو سيبك من السوليبيليتي، لو انا عملت لك ايس تيبل خلاص وقلت لك قلت لك مثلا ال NH3 بتديني N2 و H2 اوكي، وقلت لك الكونسنتريشن بتاعت ديت 0.1 whatever 2NH3, so I will say 2 and then 3 for example, and then I tell you the concentration of this one is 0.6. What you will do, KSP is equal to what? You will say 0.1 multiplied by 0.6 to the power of 3. You don't say multiplied by 3 تاني. هل انت بتعمل multiplied by 3 تاني؟ لا ليه يا مستر؟ why? Because the value is 0.6 خلاص. دي كلها ب 0.6 انا مديها لك. هتروح تعملها multiplication by 3 تاني؟ When you try to answer this, what do you do? قول لي بتعمل ايه لما تيجي تعمل كنت؟ يعني قلت لك ده 0.6 وده 0.7 وطلع لي كي ايكوليبريم مش كي اس بي، طلع لي كي ايكوليبريم، هتقول لي ايه؟ What you are going to tell me؟ ودي 0.5.
Yeah.
مش هتعمل كده؟ بتعمل كده؟ ولا بتعمل
لا
0.6 multiplied by 3؟
when I 0.6 multiplied not 0.6 multiplied by 3.
بتعمل 0.6 to the power of 3 بس صح؟ ليه؟
صح.
لأن أنا قلت لك ده الكونسنتريشن بتاعه 0.6، ترجع تقول لي لا هو 0.6 multiplied by 3. أنا بقول لك خلاص الفاليو بتاع دوت ال H2 concentration is 0.6. ما تجيش تقول لي بقى انا هعمل لها مالتيبليكيشن ب 3. خلاص انا قلت لك هي الكونسنتريشن بتاعتها كام؟ هنا نفس الكلام بالظبط. So I don't do to multiply by 2. I power it to the power of 2 بس. كويس انت سألت السؤال. Okay. Then I will say 0.2 multiplied by OH minus to the power of 2 بتساوي الفاليو دي اللي هي 1.3 في 10 to the power of negative 6. يعني ال OH minus بتساوي او ال OH على طول بقى، مش ال OH على طول بتساوي الراديكال الناحيتين 1.3 في 10 to the power of negative 6 divided by 2. الراديكال بتاعها يطلع كام؟
radical of this 1.3
صح كده مظبوط؟ 10 to the power of negative 16.
I got 5.7 times 10 to the power of minus 4. 5.7
times
10 to the power of minus 4.
10 to the power of minus 4. وديد we ignore the 0.2. هي اللي انا عملت دي 2 المفروض 0.2. I'm sorry 0.2.
0.2 sorry. 5.7 times 10 to the power of minus 3.
5.7 times 10 to the power of negative 3. Something is wrong here. 10 to the power of something is wrong. Something is wrong. Okay, KSP بتساوي 1.3 في 10 to the power of negative 6 divided by 0.2 بتساوي ال OH minus صح؟ خلينا نشيل نعمل خطوتين. this is equal to OH minus squared. ال OH minus semester بتساوي الكلام ده. It's not that difficult. Why it's not coming right. أنا حتى الرقم عندي ما طلعش مظبوط، معرفش ليه. 1.3 10 to the power of 6 minus وبعدين divided by 0.2 وبعدين الراديكال بتاع الكلام ده لا ما طلعش 5. طلع عندي الحل صح اهو خلاص. 0. طلع عندي 2.5 في 10 to the power of negative 3. تاني قول لي عملت ايه تاني اسهل. انت عملت 1.3 في 10 to the power of negative 6 صح؟ عملت لها اعمل لها division by 0.2.
بدون الراديكال؟
بدون الراديكال اعمل الاول division by 0.2.
اوكي I got 6.5 times 10 to the power of minus 6.
وبعدين هات الراديكال بقى.
2.55 times 10 to the power of minus 3.
Yes, this is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. This is the concentration of OH minus. So 2.55 or 2.5 to 10 to the power of negative 3. And then if you have OH minus, you can get the POH. What is the POH? 10 to the power of this
negative
number.
log of this.
Negative log Mr. Aaron انت بتعمل negative log. صح بالظبط. negative log of 2.55. أنا نسيت أقول للستودنتس التانيين إزاي يعكسوا. طيب of this value يعني
you get 2.6 POH.
طلع لي POH بتساوي 2.6 أو 2.59 minus 14
11.4.
يبقى pH بتساوي 11.40. جميل. So this is the pH at which the solution is precipitated as calcium hydroxide. أنا حطيت يا مستر calcium hydroxide الكونسنتريشن بتاعته بقت 0.20 وبعدين حطيت عليه صوديوم هيدروكسيد لغاية لما البي اتش طلعت ل 11.40. أول ما البي اتش طلعت ل 11.40 حصل له precipitation على هيئة كالسيوم هيدروكسيد علشان ال اتش بلس كونسنتريشن قلت جدا والاو اتش عليت جدا. اوكي نيكست وان دايركتلي. طيب مهم جدا جدا الحاجات اللي انت قلتها هنا اللي هي زي ديت a very common problem ان انا اخد بالي في الارقام كويس جدا وانا بحل الارقام خاصه الكالكوليتر ممكن يخدعني شويه لو انا بعمل الديفيجن والراديكال في نفس الوقت. طيب given the solubility of aluminum oxide is 2. So given the solubility of aluminum oxide is 2 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 4. Find the KSP. طيب هنا يا مستر ألومنيوم أوكسايد أنت ما قلتليش الرول بتاع دي تحفظها إزاي. So let's make the ice table. Aluminum oxide gives me Al3 plus 2 of it and 3 of the oxide ions, right?
صح.
So this means that the ratio is 1 to 2 to 3. I did not take this ratio with you. I did not memorize it, so I'll still have to make the ice table. So, Mr. the KSP, this is minus nothing. Nothing started. This is 2s and 2s squared actually because it is coefficient 2. And this is 3. So this is plus 2s يعني. This is plus 3s. So 3s cubed. 3s cubed. When I multiply these two together, what do I get? I get the 4 multiplied by 27 multiplied by s to the power of 5. And you can do it this way. And some students, they will just prefer to do it separately, like to do 2s squared لوحدها and make the 3s cubed لوحدها and then find the answer. So you can do the other way and I will do this one. Or you can do the other way, which is finding the s squared and multiplying it by 2, then multiplying it by the s cubed and multiplying it by 3, and then we can get the same answer. So let's say I say here s to the power of 5, so 2, let me see if mine will work, 2 multiplied by 10 to the power of negative 4. And then I will multiply this by 27, and multiply this by 4. No, it will come right. 2 to the power of 2 is 4, 3 to the power of 3 is 3 to the power of 3 is 27, multiplied by 4 multiplied s to the power of 5. They give different concentrations, given the solubility of aluminum oxide. This is the solubility. So I guess because there is 2 different numbers, that's why we can make it step by step. So let's make it step by step. This is 2, عشان نبقى متأكدين من الرقم. I will not risk it in the exam also. 2 to the power of 10 to the power of 4 minus 4 minus, and this is squared. So TSP is equal to this one, 2 multiplied 10 to the power of 2. So multiplied by 2. Here I will multiply by 2 عادي. مستر اشمعنى هنا بتعمل multiply by 2 عادي؟ عشان هو مديني الايه؟ السوليبيليتي. خد بالك. He is giving me the solubility, so he's giving me the S. That's why here you multiply it, okay? So 2 to the power of 4 multiply. هي تطلع فعلا 4 في 10 to the power of negative 4 to the power of 2. وبعدين الثانية 3 to the power of 3 multiplied by 6 to the power of negative 4. يعني 3 في 2 to the power of negative 4 يعني 6 في 10 to the power of negative 4 to the power of 3. كويس. دي لوحدها ودي لوحدها تطلع كام؟ تعال نجربها على الكالكوليتر. I hope you are doing the same on the calculator, right?
Yeah, I am.
10 to the power of 4 negative power 2 7 multiplied by 3 to the power of 3. No, my calculator is not helping with this one. 2.16, is it? 10 to the power of negative 10. So this number 2.16 multiplied by 1.6 يطلع 3.5 صح؟ 3.5 and multiply the powers to 10 to the power of negative 17 is good. طلعت معايا. Did you get the correct answer?
Yeah, I got this.
اوكي. So take care بس ان انا وانا بعمل السوليبيليتي مستر خد بالك. He give me the solubility this time. So he give me the S. يبقى المرة دي أنا لازم أعمل multiplication في 2. طب مستر أنت ما رضيتش تعمل هنا المرة اللي فاتت. ليه؟ Because this one was unknown. هنا المرة دي ده بتجيب لي knowing ال S أعمل لها multiplication في 2 وبعدين باور. طب ليه يا مستر ما رضيتش المرة اللي فاتت تعمل الكلام ده؟ عشان دي الإيكويشن قال لي ال 1 في 2 1.3 10 to the power of negative 16 كل الفاليو ديت كل الفاليو بتاعت الكونسنتريشن تبقى خلاص احنا اتكلمنا في الموضوع ده مش هنخش فيه تاني. لكن المره دي I'm giving you S only. انا بديك السوليبيليتي بس اللي هي الاكس. لا فين الرقم ده بقى؟ you have to multiply it by the 3 and multiply it by the 2. طيب next question. Answer the following questions relating to the solubility of bromide of silver and lead Write the dissociation constant of AGBR. Question number 6. You are following with the questions, right? So let me
Yeah.
also write it here. So 6 is at 10 degrees Celsius, 1 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 6 grams of silver bromide will dissolve in how much water? In 100 ml water, in 100 ml of water. Write the dissociation constant. Where is write dissociation constant? Dissociation of AGPR in water that's equivalent to AG plus multiplied by PR minus, and that's it. I don't mention the solid, right? So I don't mention the solid. This is the AGPR. He wanted the dissociation itself. He doesn't want the KSP. Okay, so I will write it. And then calculate solubility, which means the calculation of the S. In what? In mole per liter. What is the solubility? The ratio is 1 to 1, and you have the KSP. The ratio is 1 to 1, and you don't have the KSP, you have the concentration, you have the number of moles, or you have the mass. So if you want to find the number of moles, you will just divide the mass by the molar mass. Mass over the molar mass. Mass is 1, 10 to the power of negative 6, and molar mass is equal to what? This is the mass. The molar mass is equal to what? 188. 188. So when you divide this one by this one, you get the number of moles, which is 5.3 10 to the power of negative 9. And this one is dissolved in how much water? In 100 ml. This is in 100 ml. So how much in liters? It is 5.3 10 negative 8 in 1 liter. So this means that it is 5.3 10 to the power of negative 8 mole per liter. Okay, correct? The last part is when he's asking about the solubility product, the ratio is 1 to 1, so KSP is just equal to S squared. That's it. I don't need to write the ice table. أنا حفظت الموضوع. الحاجات السهلة ديت بتوفر عليا وقت، خاصة في المالتيبل تشويس. 5.3 10 to the power of negative 8 squared بتساوي 2.8 10 to the power of negative 15 زي ما هو قايل. I'll just go bring some water and come back.
Okay,
Give me 2
no
minutes.
problem.
Okay, give me 2 minutes. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. So we'll go for the next question.
Yeah.
Okay. Calculate at 25 degrees Celsius. Apparently, there is something different. That's why he is mentioning the temperature. So he said that at 25 degrees, the value of KSP is 4.2. This is lead bromide, something different. And the value of AGPR is 4 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 15. So there is another substance which contains bromide. Here I had bromide, and I have something common effect here, have another bromide. So if 60 ml of 0.1 molar sodium bromide is added, no, this is not related. I think this is not related. And the value of KSP. Okay, if 60 ml of 0.1 molar sodium bromide is added to 60 ml of 0.40 molar lead nitrate, will a precipitate form? Well, we used to take these questions in the last year and the year before, and now they are even taking in grade 9. I have 60 ml of 0.1 molar sodium bromide and added to the lead nitrate. If you want to know if the precipitate is formed or no, you have to see the question of the precipitation. What is the question of precipitation? Lead bromide, not lead. What is the equation? Lead nitrate will react with sodium bromide to form a precipitate of sodium nitrate, lead bromide. Okay, so if you want to know if the reaction goes to the left and forms a precipitate, or goes to the right or forms the soluble substances, you need to measure the Q. So we need to measure the Q. If you want to measure the Q, you need to find the concentrations of the lead nitrate and the concentration of this one and multiply it by each other, right?
Yeah.
In order to do that, احنا واخدين السؤال من تحت. So in order to know what do we need to find out? So we need to get Q and compare it, this Q to the KSP. And if the Q is more, it will go to the left. So we'll compare it. If it is equal, it's equilibrium. If it is more, it will go to the left. KSP اللي احنا قلنا عليها 4 في 10 to the power of negative 6. And if it is less than KSP, then it's moving to the right, and then it's not making precipitate. It will make precipitate only if it goes to the left and is more than the KSP. So let's find the concentrations. How do I find the concentrations of lead nitrate and sodium bromide?
Concentration of
Of
sorry,
these
can you
two.
repeat?
Of these two, I need these two. So I need the lead concentration.
Yeah.
And the bromide concentration, because when I find the concentrations, I can multiply it by each other. And once I multiply it by each other, I will get the lead bromide Q, correct? And then I can compare it against the KSP. So let's find the concentration of lead in the solution and the bromide in the solution. In which solution, Mr. Exactly? In the mixed solution. So all you need to find is to find the number of moles of lead and divided by the new volume, and also the number of moles of bromide and divided by the new volume. What is the new volume? The 60 plus 60, which is 120 ml, right? 60 plus 60 ml, here 120 ml. What is the number of moles of lead? And how can I find it?
Number of moles of lead.
Yes. He gave me already the volume and the concentration.
Concentration, yeah. Multiply them.
So lead nitrate breaks down into lead and 2 nitrates. So if the concentration of this one is 60 over 1000 multiplied by 0.4, which is how much? P over 1000 multiplied by 0.4. So I have 0.024 moles, which will give me 0.024 moles of lead. So I have the number of moles of lead, 0.024. And what about the number of moles of bromide? Can you calculate it for me?
Yeah. What's the concentration is 4 times 10 to the power of minus 6?
The concentration of, I need the sodium bromide concentration to find, this is 0.100, right?
Yeah.
Multiplied by the volume, same way, sodium bromide.
Sodium.
I don't know if the silver is related to the question or no. The silver bromide, I don't think it is related at all. This one,
Yeah.
the value of silver bromide is not related at all. Only we need the value.
So which Na do I use?
The Na,
Which values do I use?
the NABR, the concentration and the volume of sodium bromide.
Yeah, how much is the concentration of NABR?
0.100, it's written right, 0.100 multiplied by 60. So 0.100 multiplied by 60
or 60 over 10 to the power.
60 over 1000.
So 6 times 10 to the power of minus 3.
6 times 10 to the power of minus 3. This is the number of moles of bromide. There is only one source of bromide, so it's not related to part A. It's not related to part A. This is silver. This is only to confuse us the silver bromide. Okay. I will divide these two by the new volume, which is 120 over 1000. So divided by 0.120. This way, I will get the concentration of the lead and the concentration of the bromide. We just follow the numbers to make sure they are correct. Here. So the new concentration is, let me just divide it. (0.024) divided by 0.120. Again, 0.024 divided by 0.0120. That's equal to 0.024 divided by 0.120. 0.2 molars, correct?
Yeah.
So this one is 0.2 molars, and the other one is 6 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 3 divided by 0.120. That's 0.05. Now I have the concentration of this one and concentration of this one. If I multiply it by them, I will get Q, right?
Yeah.
Let me multiply it by each other. So I multiply this one by this one. I just need to check if the sodium bromide is alone or will it form a precipitate. Yeah, nothing. خلاص, just multiply them by each other زي ما قلنا. So the first one is 0.20 and the second one is 0.05. Okay. When we multiply them by each other, I get don't forget the squared. We were about to forget the square. The most important one, the square. Very important. So don't forget this is squared. Very big mistake. Need two mistakes like this mistake. So 0.05 squared. 0.05 squared multiplied by 0.20. So that's 0.0005 or 5 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So equal to 5 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 4. Is it bigger or smaller than the KSP? And which KSP I need to use? Is it lead bromide or silver bromide? Silver bromide is here for the confusion. So this is only for confusion. I don't need it in the question at all. No need. I just need this one. Correct? I'll find that this value is bigger than or less than 4 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 6. It's bigger than. So we said if it is bigger than, so
Yeah.
it will go to the left. So a precipitate will fall. So this one is bigger than KSP, so it will fall. Is this question okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Type part B, calculate the equilibrium value of lead in 1 liter of saturated lead bromide solution to which 0.200 mole of sodium bromide has been added. Assume that no volume change occurs. So I have equilibrium value of lead in 1 liter of saturated lead bromide solution to which 0.20. So let's go directly, not much time, and say, what does he want? The equilibrium value. So I can say that directly. Is this related to the previous part? It's not related. No, he added sodium bromide. He added sodium bromide to the same. When you want to find its concentration, like when you add sodium bromide to this solution, it will form sodium and bromide. Okay. What is the concentration of the solution that you have added? You have added it saturated 0.200 moles he has. 0.200 has been
Moles.
added. Okay, 0.200 moles. And if you divide it by 1 liter, it is 0.200. So it is the same. So 0.200 molar, 0.200 molar, and 0.200 because you divided it by 1. So it is the same. Now you have the concentration of that one. What does he want? Calculate the equilibrium value in 1 liter of saturated lead bromide. 0. So lead bromide breaks down into lead and bromide ions. Yes, okay. No volume changes has occurred. كويس. عايز ايه يا مستر؟ عايز equilibrium value of lead. So ال KSP بتاعت الكلام ده بتساوي lead multiplied by ال PR minus to the power of 2. مظبوط؟ يبقى لو عايز الليد يا مستر اعمل ديفيجن للكي اس بي بتاعت الليد اللي هو مديها لنا في اللي فاتت 4 في 10 to the power of negative 6 واقسمها على الكونسنتريشن بتاع البروميد. الكونسنتريشن بتاع البروميد I don't care about the concentration of bromide that came from the bromide because it is very small concentration. ولكن انا مهم عندي الكونسنتريشن بتاع البروميد اللي جاي من الصوديوم bromide. This is the important one which is the 0.200 صح؟
Yeah.
لان التاني دوت is negligible. البروميد اللي جاي من الليد بروميد ده كلام فاضي compared للبروميد اللي جاي من الصوديوم بروميد. وما انساش، كنت هتنسى يا مستر والله كنت هتنسى، ما انساش الايه؟ السكويرد. يبقى 4 multiplied 10 to the power of negative 6 على 0.200 to the power of 2 هتديني 1 في 10 to the power of negative 4 molar. It's an easy but a little bit confusing question, so but it is easy. طيب, a student added question number 7. Is this okay for the last one?
Yeah.
طيب, a student added 0.50 liters of 1 molar sodium chloride to 0.50 liters of 1 molar lead nitrate. List the ions remaining after precipitation in order of increasing concentration. This is the same thing, but I need to find the excess and the limiting in every one. So I will make the sodium chloride. I will find the number of moles of sodium, the number of moles of chloride. I will find the number of moles of lead and the number of moles of nitrate. For this two, there will be no problem because they don't react to form a precipitate. كل اللي انت عايز تعمله انك تجيب النمبر اوف مولز ان بتساوي C multiplied by B وان بتساوي C multiplied by B and then divided by the what to find the concentration النمبر اوف مولز على النيو فوليوم صح؟ وهنا
Yeah.
برضو number of moles على new volume after mixing them together remove them and put in a new test tube على new volume اللي هو كام؟ اللي هو 0.5 لتر و 0.5 لتر اللي هو 1 لتر. دول ما فيهمش مشكلة، المشكلة في الليد والكلورايد. ليه؟ الليد والكلورايد أنا مش هعمل نفس الكلام بس مش هجيب النمبر اوف مولز وأقسمها على التوتال فوليوم وخلاص. ليه؟ أنا عندي 3 اوبشنز. ايزر ان النمبر اوف مولز بتاعتهم تبقى ماشيه على الريشيو صح زي البني ادمين، يعني تبقى الريشيو بتاعتها 2 to 1 يعني هتلاقيها ماشيه على الريشيو 1 to 2، او تلاقي اكسس من الكلورايد او تلاقي اكسس من الليد. يعني عندي 3 اوبشنز. لو مفيش اكسس يبقى مفيش ليد وكلورايد في السوليوشن اساسا. ليه يا مستر؟ كلهم عاملين بريسيبيتيت. تاني اقول ايه اسف، عندي 3 اوبشنز. الاوبشن الاولاني ان النمبر ريشيو بتاعت الليد للكلورايد هي 1 to 2، فلما تكون الريشيو 1 to 2 يبقى كل واحده ليد هتمسك في 2 كلورايد وتعمل سوليد بريسيبيتيت. كل واحده ليد هتمسك في 2 كلورايد وتعمل سوليد بريسيبيتيت. هل هيبقى فيه فري كلورايد او ليد ايونز في السوليوشن؟ لا. ليه يا مستر؟ كلهم مشغولين بيعملوا ايه؟ بريسيبيتيت. امال امتى الاقي ليد او كلورايد في السوليوشن؟ لما يكون في واحد منهم موجود على هيئه ايه؟ اكسس. لما يكون موجود اكسس ساعتها هيكون موجود فري في السوليوشن. لو الليد اكسس هلاقي ليد هنا بقى. عايز اجيب الكونسنتريشن بتاعه اشوف النمبر اوف مولز واقسمها على التوتال فوليوم زي ما عملت مع ده وده. طب لو مفيش اكسس مش هلاقي، كله مشغول قاعد جوه البريسيبيتيت. يبقى هنعمل الكلام ده بسرعه ازاي؟ just copy the numbers. The sodium number of moles is equal to 0.50. هو بيضربها في الكونسنتريشن اللي هي 1 يعني 0.50 ويقسمها على 1 يطلع الكونسنتريشن بتاعها في النيو سوليوشن 0.50 مولر. طب والصوديوم نيتريت والنيتريت نفس الكلام، الكونسنتريشن بتاعها 1 صح؟ الكونسنتريشن بتاعها 1 والفوليوم بتاعتها 0.50 يعني 0.50 1 وبعدين يقسمها على النيو فوليوم اللي هو 1 يطلع الكونسنتريشن بتاعتها 1 سوري يطلع معاها 1 يطلع معاها 0.50 تضربها في 2 عشان الريشيو ايه ده العك كده ثواني. ليه عملناها مالتيبليكيشن باي 2 الصوديوم والنيتريت؟ ما يا مستر النيتريت ريشيو 2 يا مستر. انت نايم ولا ايه يا مستر؟ مستر ار
لا
يو
لا معاك.
سليبي؟ لا انا
امال
اللي
ايه؟
بتكلم، انا بتكلم على نفسي، انا اللي نايم. ليه؟ عمال اسال نفسي انت مش نايم، انت زي الفل. انا عمال اقول ليه النيتريت multiplied by 2 because its ratio is 2 so 0.50 multiplied by 2 by 1 divided by 1 يعني يطلع التركيز بتاعها 1. قلنا الاثنين دول ما فيهمش مشكله. المهم النمبر اوف مولز اوف كلورايد هتطلع 0.50 والنمبر اوف مولز اوف ليد بتساوي 0.50. هل فيهم اكسس وليميتنج ولا ماشيين على الريشيو صح؟ لا ريشيو ايه يا مستر؟ الريشيو بتقول لي 1 to 2 يعني لو كان في 0.50 ليد كلورايد كان المفروض يكون في قد ايه ليد؟ لو كان في 0.50 كلورايد كان المفروض الليد يبقى كام بالكورس مالتيبليكيشن؟
الليد
0.50 في 1 على 2 كان المفروض يبقى 0.25. لا هو مش 0.25 هو 0.50. يبقى مين الاكسس؟ الليد هو الاكسس. تاني يا مستر انت بتقول الريشيو 2 to 1 يعني ريشيو 2 to 1 يعني لو الكلورايد 0.50 الليد كان المفروض يكون كام؟
0.25.
0.25 لكن هو 0.50 يبقى هو الاكسس. اكسس بقد ايه بالظبط؟ 0.50 minus 0.25 يعني في 0.25 excess. هم دول اللي فاضيين، هم دول اللي بيمشوا في السوليوشن، هم دول اللي بيجروا في السوليوشن، والباقي 0.25 التانيين قاعدين جوه هنا مش بتحسبوا. عايز تجيب الكونسنتريشن بتاع الليد، اقسم ال 0.25 الاكسس دول على ال 1 لتر اللي هو التوتال فوليوم، يطلع لك 0.25. يبقى بيقول لك رتبهم لي مين اللي اكتر ومين اللي اقل. يبقى نقول ان الكلورايد الكلورايد تركيزه كام بقى؟ ده مفيش خالص، مش مفيش، من ده هو ليميتنج. يبقى كل الكلورايد اللي موجود في السوليوشن قاعد في البريسيبيتيت، صح؟ زيرو. كونسنتريشن بتاع الكلورايد الزيرو. ليه؟ كل الكلورايد لانه ليميتنج، اي كلورايد موجود عامل بايندنج مع الليد، عامل بايندنج مع الليد، يبقى الكونسنتريشن بتاع الكلورايد الزيرو. لكن الكونسنتريشن بتاع الليد لا، ده فيه فري، فيه اكسس. فالليد كام؟ 0.25. وبعدين الصوديوم تركيزه كام؟ 0.5. وبعدين اكتر حاجه خالص النيتريت تركيزه 1 مول. يبقى احنا كده رتبنا اهو. ايه رايك؟
صح.
السؤال ده ابتدوا يدوه دلوقتي من اول جريد 9، يعني الستودنت عبال ما يوصل يكون للجريد 12 يبقى حله 9 4 سنين بيحل نفس السؤال ده بالظبط، نفسه بالظبط، من غير تغيير، من غير اي تغيير فيه. طيب ايه رايك؟ بقى لنا كام سؤال؟ 8 و9.
ممكن لو وقفنا هون اليوم.
نوقف هنا. خلصت؟
والله تعبت.
طيب خلاص كفايه كده. I think this is not much different ideas، بس هتحتاج وقت عشان السؤال انتوا. اوكي خلاص. See you next time. I don't think there
خلاص.
will be an issue. I don't
Yeah,
think
next
there
time
will
we'll
be.
do chapter 17.
ان شاء الله نبدا بالانترو دي على طول.
خلاص. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you so much. ياسر. مع السلامه.
Bye.
باي باي.